Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said Israel has set a date for its planned offensive in Gaza's city Rafah. His government has been signalling its intentions to launch a military operation in the southern city, where more than 1.5 million Palestinians are sheltering, for several weeks. Mr. Netanyahu said the planned offensive was necessary for the elimination of terrorist battalions there. World leaders have urged Israel not to go ahead with the plan for weeks. In a joint intervention on Tuesday, the leaders of Egypt, France and Jordan warned Israel the offensive would have dangerous consequences and threaten regional escalation. Mr. Netanyahu's comments come as talks between Hamas and Israel over a hostage prisoner swap and ceasefire deal continue in Egypt. The trial of 27 people charged in connection with the Panama Papers money laundering scandal has started in a Panamanian criminal court. The leak of secret financial documents in 2016 revealed how some of the world's wealthiest people stashed their assets in offshore companies. The defendants include Jürgen Mossack and Feynman Fonseca Mora, who founded the now defunct law firm Mossack Fonseca. They face money laundering charges, but say neither they, the firm, nor its employees were involved in unlawful acts. In 2017, the firm said it was the victim of a computer hack and that the information leaked was being misrepresented. Donald Trump has said decisions about abortion rights should be left to the states, releasing a statement on the contentious election issue.
The states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state.
Many in his Republican Party had wanted him to back a nationwide ban on abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy, but Mr. Trump said policies should be set by individual states, as they have been since the Supreme Court overturned the Roe v. Wade decision in 2022. Since then, abortion has emerged as a galvanizing issue for many voters. The former president's comments have drawn criticism from both liberals and conservatives. A mortar attack in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo has killed 3 soldiers from a southern African military force. All of those who died were from Tanzania. 3 others were hurt. The Southern African Development Community said missile fire fell near the camp where they were staying. A source said the attack took place at a base for Tanzanian soldiers in Sake. SADC has not confirmed these details or said who was responsible for the attack on its soldiers. A group of older Swiss women have won a partial victory in their climate case in the European Court of Human Rights. The women, mostly in their 70s, said that their age and gender made them particularly vulnerable to the effects of heat waves linked to climate change. The court said Switzerland's efforts to meet its emission reduction targets had been woefully inadequate. It is the first time the powerful court has ruled on global warming. The ruling is binding and can trickle down to influence the law in 46 countries in Europe, including the UK.
Today's rulings make very clear that the European states have a legal responsibility to take real climate action and to protect people and to protect its citizens. It cannot be a political choice whether to respect human rights or not. And this is only the beginning of climate litigation. All over the world, more and more people are taking their government to court, holding them responsible for their actions. And the results of this can mean in no way that we lean back. This means that we have to fight even more. The moment to stop panicking was a long time ago, because we are in a state of planetary emergency.
And a stunning solar eclipse has wowed millions of people across the world as it carved a path across the North American continent. The total eclipse became Mexico as crowds on the beach went wild. Across 13 US states and into Canada. Tourists had crowded along both sides of the border at Niagara Falls, where the eclipse path crossed from the US into Canada.
Folks, enjoy the eclipse, but play it safe. Don't be silly.
The American president had some safety advice for those watching the spectacle. Video shows that it obscures the sun, turning day to night and revealing. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.